Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. And right now I will be watching the remaining interview of Bahul Ramesh, which is on the Galata Plus channel. So BR interviewing BR. And when I had watched the first hour of this interview and I'd reacted to that, I had not watched the finale of Kerala Crime File season 2. And now I've already watched it. So it was a good writing. If you have not watched my reaction for that, please do. If you want to watch the uncut reactions of any of the series or movies, you can obviously join my Patreon. So yeah, let's watch the remaining of the interview. This is part 2. Let's go.
Classy guy whom we thought about him. He can be thorough local also. And he may not be political correct. He may have evil intentions also. So these kind of details I try to add with every character. Most of the characters, I try to for every 3 or 4 scenes.
That
And finally,
unexpected
we talk about
characteristics.
Kuriachan all throughout the movie. Like every character who comes and goes talk about Kuriachan in a very sinister way. Like he's not trustworthy. He's like that. We portray him as a villain.
So obviously this is
So
echo
I
reference.
wanted
I have
when
not
we
watched
show
yet.
him for the first time on screen, he should be totally in a contrasting space from whatever we heard about him till that point. He can be vulnerable. He can be gentle. He can be like when he
But
asked.
sorry to interrupt, but is this coming from you revising something or in your first draft?
First draft itself.
No. What I mean is, when you reach the point where Kuriachan is described as a villain, then you go and say, okay, let me tweak that a bit in the first scene or first appearance so that he's a different thing.
No, but mostly from the first scene itself, Kuriachan is portrayed as a negative character only. No?
Yeah.
So the Malaysian sequence come much later, almost after 45 minutes. So by in the first 45 minutes itself, we portrayed Kuriachan's
like a mystery. Like nobody knows what he is.
Yeah,
is he really what is this? Why are these people looking for him?
All of this information, is this going to hamper my viewing experience? I have been told it will not. Hence, I am reacting to this interview.
looking for, and most of them are in revenge motive.
Yeah.
So even there's one scene where this Papachan's character remember about that incident in a police camp, a torturing camp, concentration camp kind of issue. So definitely, and Naxals are also after him. So he might be a notorious person. That kind of image
This
we
seems
already
random information.
portrayed.
It's fine, I guess.
So when we are showing him for the first time on screen in that Malaysian sequence, I didn't want it to be an exact reinforcement of the idea which I already portrayed. I want it to be contrasting or something new. So that's when I added that gentle or more political dialogues and all, not political, like when he asked, why don't you take care of your wife as if she is your wife? So people may not expect someone like Kuriachan to say that dialogue. So that was the approach I was saying.
That's a beautiful explanation. And you know what? This itself is like a surprise, like how I see in your movies, because I came here thinking I'm going to get an interview and I'm getting a masterclass. This is fantastic. For every mystery, traditionally speaking, there's who, what, where, when, why, how. These are the questions that one wants the answers to. Like, for example, you take Agatha Christie or detective writers here, anybody. Like, I just named Agatha Christie because she's very famous in the world. But like, so-and-so shot so-and-so. Why? They wanted the money. Why and how they put poison in arsenic or something, some poison. When that particular time. Like, where. So how, like all that, right? So that's the thing. In your movie, let's talk about Echo. You reveal a character at the end who does something, who has done something. So the who is clear, right? What did that character do? That is also clear. Okay. But how, when, why? Where is not important in this scenario, right? It's like that area. So how, when, why, you don't answer.
Oh, so it's open-ended basically.
That leaves the audience with a bit of
dissatisfaction?
How? Because yes, you give a clue earlier on that maybe there is black magic involved, but you don't really. There's no connection, right? So you're leaving
Do we
us to
have
say.
the release,
So
OTT
So you're
release
telling
date?
me.
Let me just check.
I know who did this. I know what this character has done, but why don't you want to answer how? How did that character do that thing? Why did that character do that thing? When also you can kind of excuse.
Okay, I think there are a couple of points. When I start writing, already told you I don't have a whole story of one line in mind.
100%.
So I'm not conceiving it as a mystery myself. I'm just treating it as a drama. So I'm just doing with dramatic situation just trying where this dramatic narrative is going ahead, where this is heading and all. So I don't have any objectives in my mind. Who, where, when, and all.
Okay.
So I'm not obliged by the duty like to fill in these objectives, to tick these boxes and all. I just went with the flow, and whenever I feel okay, this is it, I finish it there. And these voids, if we explain too much, that can narrow down the possibilities.
Yeah.
So the audience, if audience put their own thoughts and interpretations and layers into it may sound bit more authentic and detailed and believable. So
because this what he's saying very much similar to how the season 2 of Kerala Crime Files ends, because of it's not everything is revealed. Like with Ambili and Ayappan's body, it's assumed. Like we have these little clues that he has thrown us, and he's like, I'm not gonna spoon feed you. This is enough, and this is what I'm gonna end it with. Because with the ending scene, it's just so beautifully done, where Jason, the character, he's smiling, looking at the dogs, and then Noble looks at him, and then he's smiling, and I think it was just a very poetic, beautiful end. And I mean, as audience, we can like figure it out, right? So I can understand the thought process now.
If we narrate something in okay, this is like this only to that one single point, it may become very small and more subject to like criticism and all. So I found it as a safe way.
Okay.
And seeing my producer's happiness, I feel happy that okay, that risk was worth taking.
Yeah.
Producer is very happy. That's all we want.
I think it's brilliant. I think the fact that you have done this in 2 films and both the films are hits, it's amazing. Which means that the audience is like willing to accept different narratives, right? They're not because what producers typically do more than the directors also, because they fear the box office. They say, let's add this, let's add that, let's do this, let's do that, so that the audience they think a lot about the audience, right? Now you're only thinking about yourself, which is fantastic, and which is a true artist, because a true artist creates for the audience within themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're writing,
I'm sorry about if you can hear the siren noise outside. I know that would be a little disturbing.
You're writing for Bahul, Ramesh, that person.
Yeah.
That person is the audience. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not asking you, there's a word that in your answer, there is this word, you don't want to explain too much. That too much I understand. But where do you draw the line between too much and too little?
I'm not conscious about that while writing.
Okay.
I don't think about it too much also.
Okay.
So I was giving, okay, let me try to communicate it in another way.
You don't want to give away the mystery, but
no. I was giving this example the other day. Like, there are no open things in this movie. I have answered for every question. The thing is that the answer is not exactly below the question.
Yeah.
We see a question mark here, the answer need not be here. The answer might be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it may have repeated maybe a couple of times also, in metaphorically or through dialogues also, in some other context. So we have to add that, to connect that. Like this example I told yesterday was like when we were studying in school, we have this question, no, in question paper, match the following, where we'll have column A, we'll have a set of animals, a cat, and then the column B will be the preferred food items. So grass will be written straight to cat, and below cow will be written, and then there will be milk. we had to draw the line from cow to grass. So answer is already there in both columns. So that kind of add an engagement. The audience may find it engaging. That's
brain gets
expectations.
stimulated that way.
Audience may find it engaging, and they will try to do that brain work and all. And also this, that's a phrase I tried to coin up, like the cross resonating dialogues. Like I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan. Christopher Nolan and M.T. Vasudevan Nair, those are my favorite writers. So Prestige is my all-time favorite movie. That's one movie which I watched.
That is my favorite Christopher Nolan film,
Prestige.
and like you say, one of my all-time favorite films. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
and I'm very, very inspired by the meticulous approach they took in every department of that movie, in writing, in editing, directing, in staging also. Like that I told you earlier, no, that they are not they have put this huge expensive sets and all, Victorian London and all, and they are not in a obligation to show off that. Like, let me put a wide shot like this, a beauty shot like that.
Actually.
They're just narrating the story and going with the flow, and the staging is so effortless and candid, that their interactions and also. Okay, coming back to the script point, the Prestige script is very fascinating. It's very meticulously put. Every time we rewatch it, we find a new details which we didn't find till the last watch.
Yeah.
And sometimes it will surprise. Oh, this dialogue. This is why they added that dialogues in the seventh scene. That kind of excitement we get. Even last week also I watched Prestige. By now I might have watched it more than 500 times. Prestige. Every time, every moment if I get a free time, I used to watch Prestige. And this cross-resonating dialogues, what I intended to communicate is that when one character say a dialogue to the character B, like for example in this movie in Echo, when one character says some dogs have only one master, so that character, from that character's point of view, it's correct, and he has his own reason for that. And the listener character, he or she, listens to that and smiles, responds with a smile, acknowledging that you are right, I know that, I have my own reasons for like agreeing to that. And also one more dialogue, like കൂറുള്ള പട്ടികളുണ്ട്, there are obedient dogs also, and then also the listener character is smiling. So that character have his or her own reasons for that.
Right.
So these this is what I meant. I tried to communicate with cross-resonating dialogues. So one character says something, and it applies to another character also.
I'll probably remember.
So this I tried to do throughout the movie. Like when the Mohan Bothan's character explains about Kuriyachan, like he says, അയാൾക്ക് വേണ്ട കാര്യങ്ങൾ അയാൾ പോലും നമ്മൾ പോലും അറിയാതെ നമ്മളെ കൊണ്ട് ചെയ്യിക്കും. He persuades us to do something. He is a master manipulator. And this is what he did in the flashback sequence. So those kind of cross-resonating things I use.
Flashback as in Malaysia.
So in many of the sequences that kind of dialogues I tried to add. That context may be different, the character equation dynamics may be different, but that dialogue in some other context has a altogether different meaning, and both that context in both the occasions will be
what
appropriate
I've understood
only.
is that
like wherever our dialogues. These things I observed from Prestige. And Nolan in general, most of his movies use this. Like for example, in Oppenheimer, there's a phrase about lifting a stone before you see the snakes. No? I think 3 or 4 characters says that line in different situations. In Prestige also something like that. So don't know how.
No, I think you explained it beautifully. See, the thing is, you're just like you're trying to break tradition, because typically, I know you don't think of it as a mystery. For you, it is like a drama, but because the ending is like a twist, both in Kishkindakandam and in Echo, the ending is like a twist because it comes to.
Can I add one more glimpse? There's one scene when Narayan's character comes to this house and speaks with this character and warning that character, you should shift from here to somewhere else. You're not safe here. And that character replies with, I'm not alone here. And the first watch, it means that character has an aid by a supporting character. But when you rewatch it, we get to know what that character was confident about. What made he or she says that I am not alone here. Who were all with that character.
Yeah.
I think
So
by the time Echo releases an OTT, because we don't have any date, I am assuming somewhere in Jan we will get a release, and I mean there'll be a significant gap since posting this, but I don't know if I'll remember all of it, but I think I'll remember bits and pieces of this information. Like the one thing which will probably be stuck in my head is that the cross referencing thing. Like maybe in a different context, this the character would have said something, but it holds true in a completely different situation as well. So I think maybe with that information, if I watch Echo, uh, I don't know how much good or bad the viewing experience is going to be, because for those who have watched it, you guys can let me know.
I think what you're saying is, I want the audience to get one experience, but I also want my movies to be rewatchable, so that every time the movie is seen, maybe they'll get something new, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying that, I'm just arguing with you, like, just because it's interesting, right? I'm not denying, I'm not saying right or wrong that way.
No, I'm happy that I'm having a conversation with you.
So I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but see, the thing is, over years, see, for example, there's a concept of a setup and a payoff, right? That is again, it's not a rule or something like that, but in a movie, when you introduce something, you expect that something to have a resonance somewhere later. Like, it's like when you put a gun in a when you show a gun, that character has a gun, you're expecting that gun to be fired somewhere
later,
in some place. Like, that's why you're showing the gun. So the audience is trained, say that I see this, so I think there's going to be something with this. I see this character and pawn, and I think that character and pawn is going to lead to something. Maybe that character is a pervert. Maybe that character is going to look at women in a certain way. Maybe there's some, but you don't. That is a standalone scene. So that is the beauty of what I'm talking about with your screenplays, right? You using, it's like you're giving a character a gun, you're showing the gun, and then you're saying that gun is just one trait of that character. He may or may not use that gun.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't care. But you just follow the story. I'm thinking, when is that gun going to go off? So you're untraining my mind to kind of look at certain things as not necessarily having that payoff, because you're not even looking at it as a setup.
Yeah, because that's why I think he gives the first half to, after writing the first half, to his father, because he wants to eliminate possibilities like this. Because, I mean, as audience also, we are thinking of payoffs, right? In a mystery, when we think of, he's so right, that we are just so trained to have like this setup versus payoff thing. And the brain is, I mean, we are trained like that. Our brain is thinking that way. But in his writing, it's completely, there is a payoff. I would say Kishkinda Kandam, this huge payoff. Huge payoff by the end. But still, there is a sense of mystery as well with the body, and how the sequence would have happened. The how part, we don't know. But still, the payoff is so huge and emotional. But you also unlearn that not every setup or not every dialogue might have a payoff. That's interesting.
It's brilliant. I think that's beautiful, because I've never seen anybody say this before.
No, maybe that's kind of an attitude. Like in Malayalam, it says Tarkutram. Tarkutram means negating or arguing with everything you see. Like everything what appears to be a tradition or convenient or conventional thing.
Yeah.
Like that's the approach we use in music also.
Yeah.
So the brief which we give to the Mujib Majid, my friend, is that, okay, whenever you feel to use a rhythm by conventional traditional means, never use rhythm. when you wish to create a thrilling, haunting score, never do that. Play a melody.
Yeah.
So that kind of contrasting ideas. Okay, I'll share an anecdote, a trivia. Like I said, I'm a huge A.R. Rahman fan.
Yeah.
And one song which I keep on listening and which keep on inspiring me or pushing me to be daring or to try to do daring thing is Tirda Tirda alla and the Ti Ti Tiganti song. So the reason is that it starts as a sweet melody, lullaby kind of thing, and when it hits the 1.5 minutes mark, it changes its form and shape, and it becomes a thunderstorm with heavy percussions, rhythm and all. So that call, no, they maybe they could be insecure, like sweet or melody why can't we make it two distinctive songs? Let this be a pure melody of 4.5 minutes, and the other thing will be a rhythmic portion. They fused it, that contrast, that dare.
But I feel this is so true, not for just maybe a standalone A.R. Rahman song, but I feel it's so true for majority of A.R. Rahman songs. I feel they are just so unconventionally done when he composes music that whenever I listen to an A.R. Rahman song, I always go with this thought process that, yeah, I'm gonna get something different. I'm not gonna get the run of the mill template of a song. It's going to be completely different in terms of instrumentation, arrangement, mixing, completely. So yeah, I can resonate with that thought.
Release aanakapram dhaan idu work avuma illiyanu theriyum. Yet they went ahead with that. That call, no, that call pushed me everything, pushed me every time. Like even in this Malaysian sequence, no, I wrote near close to 29-30 scenes till that 45 minutes mark, and then now I have to go to Malaysian sequence, leaving all the characters I created till that moment and to go into a new terrain with new characters and new drama.
Yeah, with only 2 characters coming there from here.
Visibly only Vinny Dattan's character only. In terms of the facial, familiarity. And these kind of songs pushes me. Okay, I can be insecure. It's 45 minutes ஆச்சு, இன்னும் 50 மினிட்ஸ்க்கு இன்டர்வல் வரணும், நடுவில் இந்த டைம்ல போய் வேற ஒரு டெரைன் இது புதுசா ஏதாவது காமிச்சுன்னா இட் மே கோ ஆஃப் பேலன்ஸ் ஆர் ஆஃப் ட்ராக். அதை பற்றி எல்லாம் ஆக்சுவலி கவலையே படலை. சின்ஸ் திஸ் Rahman sir and Maniratnam sir have tried something like this with a beautiful melody, then okay, let's try.
So basically it's like,
and also I find it so fascinating that as a writer, he does not have like any qualms about it has to be a certain way. The story has to be a certain way. I think with this whole interview, that is what is fascinating me completely, that it's so beautifully raw, and I just hope with this, what I'm watching right now, because he's just, he's getting to do, and he's getting that freedom to write however he wants it. Like, this is his story. Nobody's interfering with his first draft, basically, which is the final draft in a way. And my sincere wish after listening till now is that I hope he is given that space forever. Some might think it's eccentric, or I feel that some might think that no, this is not in line with what the box office results could be. But again, it is Malayalam films, so I feel there's a lot of freedom to take risks in this industry, and he's just in the perfect industry, because I don't think that kind of freedom, because he is like, this is my story, I will not make any changes, this is the story, this is how it's going to be. Tell me how many writers get this kind of privilege. I mean, it is a kudos to the director, the producer as well, specifically producer, because they are putting in the money and they're trusting the story that way. So I hope moving forward, whatever stories of Bahul Ramesh that we get to watch on screen translated as a movie or a series, I just hope and wish that it is 100% him. Like the authenticity wise, I hope it is 100% him forever.
How Tallipogade song was used in AYM, that was gooseflesh. Like when that's weird actually, when the hero and heroine meets death and we get goosebumps.
Yeah, actually that's also another brilliant thing, because you typically expect us, when you hear the song, you think it's going to be used in a kind of this kind of romantic situation. But then it's actually, it is still a romantic situation because now, but the point is, when you hear the song, you think it's, don't go away from me. But here it is like, don't die. like that. There's a different kind of thing that happens when somebody flips it on you. I totally get it. But I think, the reason I'm asking all these questions is because you have flipped the thriller on its head. Because what you look at as a drama, because of the nature of the narrative, because at the end of the day, when you hear a story that, in this story, a gun goes missing. In this story, a man goes missing. So the minute that plot point kicks in, your mind is thinking mystery
or thriller.
There's a detective element involved because some things need to be solved. And at least in Kishkinda Kandam, you solve it to some extent because you take us to one point where we say, okay, either this happened or this happened.
Yeah.
In Echo, you're kind of leaving it more open because you show the who did it and what did they do, but how did they do it, you don't really kind of answer, even though you say that you have answered in the earlier things.
And also too much explanation may spoil the fun also. Yeah, like the believability context, it may appear too simple or silly or cheap.
No, actually, see, what you're doing is trying to make the movie mimic real life. Because in real life, you get to know a person only in stages, no?
Yeah.
Like if you fall in love with someone, the first time you fall in love with the appearance of the person, right? You don't know what they're like. And then slowly then you discover. So it's a lifelong process of discovery kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Because similarly, like what you're saying is, in these 2 compressed hours, I'm just going to leave you with a sense of real life unfolding as opposed to a dramatic life unfolding. And why I think it's revolutionary is because movies are compressed reality, right? In real life will go on for days, but movie or mini series can also go on for many episodes. But your movies are 2 hours. 2 hours you have to show all these things. You have to lay what the premise is. You have to show the important characters. You have to give important details so that we differentiate those characters from one another. And then you have to take those characters in and out of the story. And then you have to give us like an ending, which even though may not solve everything, at least gets us to a point where we're able to think back and say, oh, maybe this happened, maybe that happened, maybe that happened. So to do all this in 2 hours is not easy. And I think that's something that it's a learning that's very good in this interaction because I think because you explained it so well, I think that's beautiful for many writers who may be listening to this because everybody gets stuck with this wanting to explain everything to everybody.
Obligation.
Then again, I'm wondering if this is also audience related because will the same technique work in a more commercial industry like Tamil or Telugu or Hindi? These 3 are the biggest industries, right, in terms of the audience. So will this work there? That's a question mark because until we get a Bahul Ramesh in any of the in the other industries or a director, see, it's actually a big credit to Dinjit also, Ayatan, who's the director of both these films because he got the screenplay from you and he said he's willing to work with that.
Yeah.
He's not saying, okay, add this.
Exactly what I was telling you a while back. That the director and the producer agreeing to keep that screenplay 100% authentic. That's a big thing.
Add that. Give the audience a little bit of how this character met this character, because just like I have a mystery about how exactly Asif Ali met Aparna Balamurali. In Echo also, there is a bit of a mystery about how this particular character met
another particular character,
the mentor-like character towards the end. You know who I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Because you don't explain it at all.
No, we give a glimpse in the theater sequence.
Yeah.
Where we overhear the scene in the theater, like where a kid is hungry, give me food or buy me food.
Yeah.
And the senior character, the aged character is answering, okay, I'll buy you food. What can I expect from you? What will you do for me? That's a abstract way of communicating what could have happened in the.
And even there, you're, like you say, what could have happened?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like a hint more than a explanation.
Yeah. And also the thing is that I mean, when I try to create the narrative in this manner, I'm trying to make sure this doesn't. It's not. I mean, the project might not. Project shouldn't be more demanding in terms of budget and all.
Yeah.
So I wanted the project to happen. Okay, when I pitched it to a producer, he should feel courage. He should, he should feel it safe, worthing. I mean, okay, let's give it a shot.
What's the budget
It
of
won't come up to that kind of a budget. Let's give it a try. That kind of confidence I have to induce in him.
Yeah.
So the script shouldn't be too demanding.
Yeah.
That's why it's a period story. And I never, once I decided this is going to be a period story, I immediately fixed in my mind, this is not going to have any urban backdrops, city backdrops, because we will have to put huge sets and all. So that will demand a huge budget. All this technician awareness kicks in while writing. That's very frequent.
That's brilliant.
Since I work as cinematographer, for every now and then, every moment, that technician awareness
is there.
Is always there in my mind.
Yeah.
Like in terms of budgets, okay, let's go for terrain and landscape. So in the year period, all will be convincing, and we will have freedom to take wide shots. We won't be restricted. Okay, compose it more tighter, because here we have a modern kind of building or a metro bridge there. We won't have such restrictions. And also the spontaneity I was talking about, like they did in Prestige. So while staging and all, when the characters, I wish to give artists more freedom. I won't have any fixed marks.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Go wherever you want. We will capture. Okay. We will have lights to make sure wherever he go, he will be lit in a three-dimensional way, in a dramatic way. That we will make sure, but we will give more freedom. And right now, on the go itself, if a shot if we do some mannerism, I can adjust the frame or go in something, making him more bolder. Or when he turns this side, I can go this side. That kind of operations makes it more lively. Like, did you watch the film Kapoor and Sons and all?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this Prestige and Kapoor and Sons, the camera operations and the staging, the choreography, the mise-en-scene, I like both these movies very much.
Yeah.
So it creates a feel it's happening for real.
Yeah.
And it's not staged, it's not very deliberate. We can't see a filmmaker in both of those movies. Of course, the brilliance of the filmmakers, we will admire that after watching the movie.
Yeah.
But while watching the movie, we will feel it's all happening.
Yeah, and Kapoor and Sons also feels very light, you know, like it's happening right in front of you.
Yeah, it's like the story is unfolding
it's not
in front of you.
It's not like somebody said, there's an X on the floor.
Yeah.
Come and stand.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, it's the family itself is very dysfunctional in that way. So the movements are going to be very erratic. So that way the camera work is brilliant in Kapoor and Sons.
That X, it's not like that, you know. It's almost like a flow is happening.
Yeah. So this technician awareness. I mean, the post office scene I mentioned earlier. So I wrote the first scene where Piyush comes to the post office to collect his money order, and when I wanted another scene to happen, the thought was that, okay, this is a period movie. Anyway, we will have to create a set spending for 2 or 3 lakhs for creating a post office. So right now I have only a brief scene in that post office, which may take only 3 or 4 hours max. Still there is a day left. So no point in creating a 2 or 3 lakhs worth set for the 3 hours only.
Yeah.
So that's when I decided, okay, let me add one more scene to the post office and make it a whole day.
Yeah.
Similarly, the PWD guest house also, Naren's office space, you know, where he's residing. I wrote one scene with Sandeep where Naren interacts with Piyush in the PWD guest house, and close to the interval, just before the interval, I needed one more scene in the including Naren, Sandeep, Ashokatan and all. They were discussing about these things. So that can happen in any place.
Yeah.
So right then, what I will be thinking might be, okay, for PWD guest house, we might have to rent a space, a bungalow kind of office space, and we will have to pay 30,000 rent for that day. And that one scene alone will take only half the day.
Yeah.
So if I can incorporate this also, place this scene also in that exile space, in that 30,000 rent package in the rendu scene.
So he's thinking of all the aspects.
Those are advantage for the producers. So ഇത് എങ്ങനെ benefit ആവുന്ന ഇത് firstly the budget പോടുறதுக்கு they will sit down to create the budget, no. So இதெல்லாம் பார்க்கும்போது okay, this may come around 40-45 days, budget இவ்வளவுதான் வரும், அவ்வளோ ரிஸ்க் எல்லாம் இல்லை, let's give it a shot. So what if I wrote it all separate scenes and we shot this movie in 45 days. So நான் ரொம்ப ஃப்ரீடம் எடுத்து ரொம்ப எக்ஸ்பான்சிவ் எக்கோ எக்ஸ்பான்சிவா யோசிச்சு வேற இடத்துல எல்லாம் பிளேஸ் பண்ணிச்சுன்னா that may come around 60-65-70 days. That means another.
I know few of the dialogues. I'm saying few of the conversation anecdotes I'm missing because obviously there's no subtitles over here.
75 lakhs or close to 1 crore in terms of budget. So that spot only they will decide, okay, appra yosikla சொல்லிட்டு the project won't take off itself. So my intention is to, this project has to happen. No pointing in writing something and keep it in our shelf.
So that's brilliant. So you watch another, I keep saying brilliant all the time, but that's what it is. It's like you're saying the lower the budget, the more risk you can take.
Yes,
that's
exactly. That's why independent filmmakers have more control or more artistic, more nuanced. They can, like how Anurag sir, I'm a huge fan of Anurag Kashyap also. Anurag Kashyap and Vetrimaran sir, இவங்களோட இன்டர்வியூஸ் தான் நான் நிறைய பார்ப்பேன். So Anurag sir, the ugly எல்லாம் ரொம்ப. So after making Bombay Velvet, he went back and made Raman Raghav. Went into his own space so that he will have more control to express. While making Bombay Velvet, he might have some obligations to. Since it's a huge budget, maybe the corporate.
But I think also when you're working with a star, when you're working with all this, some restrictions come in. Which you may, even if the star says, oh, you yourself might prevent yourself from going to another space. So
and also this design of the echo script was also in that way only. Like before I started writing, before the story was anyway, before writing scene 1, the archetype which I had in mind was this should not be demanding in terms of artist requirement.
Okay.
Like the weightage of the whole film shouldn't rest on one or two single characters. It should be equally distributed among 6 or 7 characters.
Okay.
So that I need only a couple of days, only a few days from each artist. So in a span of 40 or 45 days, I can make it into a whole movie. So the budget also comes down like that. And now that point, okay, that's the cinema package. Now the thing is that I have to pitch this project into a producer. So I have to show him a candy, a USP. He should find something attractive.
Because the producers are poor in the money.
That's why I decided let me make use of the dogs all throughout the movie, in metaphorically, literally everywhere. Like how traditional cinema make use of songs or fights frequently, I made use of these dog elements. So the usage of dogs is, when the producer look into the project, he may find this as attractive.
That's interesting. That's candy. That's a nice word.
Candy.
So if I were to ask you, after the film, we're having a discussion, let's say we're having a drink or something, and then I say, so what do the monkeys mean in Kishkinda Kandam, or what do the dogs mean in Echo? Will you be able to give an answer?
No, I didn't think about it that way.
Okay.
How monkeys came into Kishkinda Kandam was that very coincidentally. Because I had this scene where Aparna's character, on the next day of her marriage, she goes out for a morning walk and she is taking selfies, and one moment she's getting curious about something which she noticed above the tree. So and then I wrote, okay, she noticed something and she looked up. Now I have to come up with an answer. What might be that? She's getting curious. What can induce curiosity in her? Then I thought, okay, there should be some property which should be contrasting to the environment. Then I wrote old transistor radio. Now I have to come up with an explanation how that transistor radio reached there. So in the beginning of the scene, when I write the left side, the description, I described it like there are a lot of trees. It's very much like a forest kind of ambience and all. So that kicked in. And if it's a forest kind of ambience, there are possibilities that monkeys can be inhabitants. And it's possible that monkey could have placed it there. And then I wrote it as an explanation when Asif Ali's characters explained to Aparna, the Korangammarada paniyana, monkeys brought it there and all. So that's how monkey element came in there. And at regular intervals, I keep on
bringing it. I'm saying afterwards. So like now you've written of course, you didn't start the movie saying, I'm going to use monkey as a metaphor, right?
No,
You didn't start like that.
No.
But I'm saying now that the movie is over, do you find yourself thinking, okay, now looking back, I think the monkeys could represent this. Do you have a theory?
Yes.
But
not like a articulated theory or something, but maybe the monkey mind, the human mind, the way human mind behaves.
Yeah.
Monkey chattering and all that.
And with the dogs in Echo?
That was pre-designed, no?
Yeah.
That was no coincidence. Like that was the candy for the producer.
Yeah. So that is more like, that goes back to the tool of control. They are used as like guards, like the tool of control for the.
And also for the advantage of animals, which I felt like most of the times I'm trying to deal with more serious themes like moral conflicts or dilemmas or crimes or something.
Yeah.
But while having a parallel stream with these animal essence, that kind of balance, I have an equilibrium, at least in my mind, like not to push myself into a too dark zone.
Yeah.
Whenever I have a monkey related incident or a dog related scene at a regular interval, I'm getting a dopamine in my head. So that I'm enjoying the process also.
Yeah.
So this I found interesting.
I like that he writes with, like, he doesn't want to have any inhibitions while writing a story. It is so like him. He doesn't care. That's what I'm getting from this. Like, he doesn't care how it's going to, be taken or received or this or that. It's like, this is my freaking story. I'm gonna write it however I wish to. Nothing is too shallow or too deep here. It's just his imagination, his thought process. That's very fascinating. This is the most unique writer interview that I am watching, and we don't get a lot of these, like I said before, when I had started watching this interview. Like, there are rarely any, there are, but very, very limited interviews of writers and writers' perspective that we get. But this is so fascinating for me because I've never heard a writer, write like this, basically.
But I was hopeful that people of all age groups, even the younger age group, because since these stories are mostly matured, people would understand. But because of this animal presence, even the kids may attend to that.
Yeah.
So that worked in favor of Kishkindagan also. Many kids, like 4 or 5, 6, 7-year-old kids, their parents were telling us they attentively, intriguingly watched Kishkindagandam. I'm sure that they wouldn't have understood the story, but just because of this monkey element, they were attentive. Even my daughter, she was only 2 years old then, and she was asking for the premiere, for the first day show. She was asking at regular interval, Bahu monkey vida Bahu. Like, enga po monkey eppo varum. She watched it throughout, and that. And while dealing with this political, another example is the Planet of the Apes franchise by Matt Reeves. He directed the final 2 movies, and it's a huge political movie, right? And it's very interesting to watch. I watched it a lot of times. There are much better political movies with human characters. Adella na paakradhukku avalo initiative edukala. And Matt Reeves padam na nare vaati paathirukken. Similarly, how
what
is it because of the director or is it because of the theme?
Because of the theme.
Okay.
In the padam paathadukku appuram da I got to know about Matt Reeves. So adula the ape context kuda irukumbodhu that creates a fascination or USP in my mind. Like, romba serious political mari illama konjam adventurous mari irukku.
But then, depends on the audience also, right? Because some audience do prefer that very serious political film. I didn't get the full context, but I understood what he meant. Like, because with apes and all, obviously it's a very different and interesting and intriguing concept, rather than it just being a political drama or a human drama. But then it just completely depends on the preference, right?
Jurassic Park and Schindler's List in the same year, 1993. And the time that year but much later, I know those films are made in the same year. Schindler's List mostly I might have watched only 1 or 2 times most. But Jurassic Park, I watched it many times. Even if ஒரு chance கிடைச்சுனா கூட
You'll watch it
I'll
again.
watch it. I recently, couple of months back, me and my friends went on a trip to Universal Studio, and there was this Jurassic theme park, and we were all like children, like kids that kindled us. Like நாங்க சின்ன பசங்க இருந்தப்போ எப்படி இதெல்லாம் பார்த்து ஃபேசினேட்டா இருந்தது. So once we immediately after getting out, most of my friends were around 40, late 30s or 40s. Myself was the younger one. So we unanimously said, once we reach back Kochi, we'll watch Jurassic Park on a big screen. Let's watch it. And the nostalgia varudhu. That kids in us, no, that gets fascinated. That I found that it has an advantage of using animals in the narrative to telling more serious, sensitive themes using animals. Like how Aesop's fables and Panchandra tales, they are communicating more dilemma, more in-depth communications, no, philosophically and all. But to make sure it reaches more younger ages, they make it more simpler with using animals or fantastical beings and all. So that kind of approach may have a benefit. That's how I felt.
You mentioned political themes. Now, supposing I say that Eco is actually a feminist drama, would you agree with that?
No, I agree, definitely.
Okay. Now, but
Really?
the difference is, you didn't start out by saying, I'm going to write a feminist drama.
Yes.
But when you ended, when you look at what the last scene, you're saying, okay, I have written a feminist drama. That thought you have?
That's what I mentioned earlier. Finally, after writing conversation, screenplay, finally I found the story. Okay, this is about a feminist political statement.
Okay. Now, the working title of Kishkinda Kandam was The Curious Case of Apupilla. And here you have a tagline called The Many Chronicles of
Infinite. From the Infinite Chronicles of Kuriachan.
From the Infinite Chronicles of Kuriachan, right? So, in your head, when these are there is already a bit of legend to these characters, like you're saying, like Panchatantra, whatever it is. There is already a bit of, like, you know what I'm saying? How do you come up with this?
Mainly, I don't. The untitled script, I'm not having a good feeling with going ahead with the untitled first page. So for namesake, I will try to give some random title.
Okay.
So when this becomes a project, we'll anyway change that. So for this this Echo, the tentative title I had was Chronicles of Kuriachan only. And why Chronicles of Kuriachan? The word chronicles, it creates a kind of feeling in my mind, like all those. When I say chronicles, the image of Jim Corbett comes to my mind, Ruskin Bond comes to my mind, Huckleberry Finn and Jules Verne comes to my mind, Monte Cristo comes to my mind, Spielberg comes to my mind, and all those fascinating things we enjoyed as a kid comes to my mind. Just because of that word chronicles, and that pushes me to enter into a more kind of an adventurous vibe. Just like having a trekking in a very serene, exotic place. Still bit scary, maybe adventurous also. That's fun to move along that line. Sometimes the names of characters also push you like that. Like how Appupilla, the character of Appupilla, that name, that I don't know anybody by the name Appupilla in real life. So that character gave me a push. Like, okay, he's a curious character. Is a unique character. That kind of something caricaturish about that name. I felt it.
Because you're saying that if you name the character after somebody you know, then that real person might start to influence your writing. Am I correct?
That can be true also.
Okay.
But that's not the reason why I try to be unique. There are many powerful names which I could have given to this character Appupilla. So I wanted it to be contrasting. So we are portraying him as a stubborn, very strict army officer kind of thing. So we are, instead of giving a very powerful name which we are traditionally more used to, I thought let me try to give him a cute name.
Okay.
Appupilla is actually
again contrast.
It's a very cute thing. Appu is always somebody it's very cute. Appupilla.
That's not the character at all.
That's not the character. So that kind of contrast And also some other, and when I named Appupilla, the character Appupilla as Appupilla, I didn't want every character's names to be unique.
Yeah.
That will stick out. The deliberation may stick out. So I gave Asif's character a more similar name, Ajayan, and Abarna's character I wanted a wiser name. That the sound itself should reflect some wise thing. It should be a negative in space. So I named it Abarna, and then I had to name Jagadish Shettan's character. I gave him Sumadattan. That's also not a frequently used name in Kerala. There are people Sumadattan. So that's how sometimes these names also pushes the narrative. Since I have no route ahead in my script, sometimes these kind of elements push me.
Even the name is a blank slate. Yeah. So the name itself is a blank slate.
Maybe in Echo, maybe I don't know what led me do so, but maybe in the second half we have that streak where these guys go for a expedition kind of thing, where they climb down and walk through the forest near the waterfalls and all. Maybe that kind of milieu, that mise-en-scene came to my mind since I named it already Chronicles of Kuriacha.
Yeah.
Maybe that Chronicles part.
But for that
Lost
also
World
you
of
think
Sea,
maybe.
many Chronicles of Narnia. Every time we hear the word Chronicles, it creates a particular kind of a hormone.
Tell me about that snake scene in Echo. When you already have one kind of animal in the movie, did that seem like, did you debate how that scene should happen?
No, I just went with the flow. It was first thought
only. It was first thought
only.
Okay.
I wanted it to be surprising, contrasting. And what I found interesting was not the element or the appearance of the snake. My fascination was the way this character, the
snake is
would
very
react
important.
to that. Okay. I mean, not the victim, the other character. So before showing the snake itself, he's smiling.
Along with the dog.
And he's saying, he knows he's tired, he can't stand him. He's almost, okay, this is he already acknowledged death. Okay, this guy is gonna kill me and all. So at that point, he's saying, last hope and hope. I'm looking for a last hope, and he's smiling. And when that sting happens, he's ecstatic. Like
that's when we realize he knows, he's seen that. Yeah.
So and in that dying moment also, he's happy, like in its own weird way. And he's happily acknowledging it with a smile, and he's searching for, okay, thankfully this happened, and he's acknowledging, and all the dialogues he says to him.
It's kind of a spoiler, because I know a scene.
In the snake, poison, this kind of animals.
And also that tells that he knows, that also explains something about the character, that he knows these things, right?
20 second
how it will affect the nervous system, something. All that explains about the character. But is that story that he says about his parents, is that a real story?
No.
It's an invented story.
No. That incident has happened once in, there is one program in Safari channel called Charitram Innilude, where people explain their career stories.
Okay.
Like I once, way back, I heard this story by an IPS officer, where he was telling about a suicide of a couple in a hotel room, where they put a dynamite in between them and they hugged and they had a blast. So that anecdote I had in mind, I heard it maybe 4 or 5 years back, and in this exercise position I found it very useful. And what if I can connect it like the way, and how we can express that. It's a weird kind of incident, and how the way he's explained, the making use of that fruit sherbet thing, and திரும்பி வந்தப்போ பார்த்தது இந்த மாதிரி தான், செவுத்துல வால்ல எல்லாம் இந்த மாதிரி இருந்தது. ஸோ நான் எக்ஸ்ட்ரீம் பார்த்து தான் நான் வந்திருக்கேன். ஸோ இதெல்லாம் பார்த்து நான் சென்டிமெண்டல் ஆகாது. So அதெல்லாம் எக்ஸ்பிளைன்.
Even if he's giving a part spoilers, but I still would say that I don't have the whole of the context, so I guess it's okay. It's fine.
So for him, it's a true story. In the film, it's a real story that really happened. Yeah, and that also explains why that character is a bit of a psycho, I think. It's like, because if you see something like that, it's bound to affect you. It's like, it's very hard to remain normal, I would think.
Also, how that adds is that when that character goes to the climax scene, goes to the cliff where the climax is happening, we can't predict or expect what he might do, because he already said avarku sentiments illa, he don't have any sentiments, he will do whatever he wish to do. So adella and the character or unpredictability, uncertainty la add agum neniche.
So he loves that unpredictability factor.
Bring this to an end by asking you, you've already mentioned Prestige, you talked about Love Today, but if I were to ask you, what are your favorite screenplays? Some of them. Just
Prestige, first of all. Charlie Kaufman's script I like. Jordan Peele's script I like.
Okay.
M.T. Vasan's most of the script I like. Kannathil Muttamattal is my favorite script of Maniratnam sir.
Okay.
And Adugalam, Vettrumaran sir most script I like.
Okay.
Andrea Kashyap's my favorite movie is Ugly. And Kapoor and Son's script, I am very fascinated by the script. It's a very family drama, very emotional, intense family drama, but we can enjoy it like watching a thriller.
Yeah.
Like how Interstellar used to be. Like in the last 30 minutes, multiple things are happening here
actually,
and there.
That revelation about the mother is actually like a thriller, no? Because it's like you think it's one person, but it's actually somebody else, and it's
and also multiple dramas happening simultaneously. The father having another issue with that son, and both sons are having issues with each other, and a girlfriend's issue. So everything is happening in that 15 minutes span of time. It was very much like in Interstellar sequence, where they Cooper was in the Tesseract, and the daughter comes to the house, and she's having a rift with her brother, and she's like evaluating or analyzing the evidences she had. She's remembering things, and parallelly Cooper is having some other. Interstellar is also one of my other favorite movie. Very inspiration Interstellar actually. Kishkindaal elumbodhu Interstellar quantifiable connection.
You were listening to that music, right? Yeah.
That music pushed me. That inspired me, especially while writing the climax of Kishkindaal and all.
Okay.
This quantifiable connection of Interstellar was the major pushing force. If I had listened to some other scores, the story would have been different. Similarly in Echo also, while writing the climax, Inception, there is one track in Inception by the name 528491.
Okay.
That's a score when Cillian Murphy enters the father's deathbed, and they are having a conversation, a very abstract conversation. I was disappointed that you tried, and showing him that his toy, and that's where that score is applied. So that was the score I listened to when I was writing the climax. So I think that score drove me, helped me hugely to structure that way. The dialogues were all minimal, very abstract there, like on point, no lengthy dialogues. Couple of only one or two exchanges, then cut to the parallel sequence where Naren and the other characters having conversation. At regular rhythm, we are having a cut back and cut forth. So that rhythm and structure of that score stimulated me to structure it that way.
Right. So how do you think music affects writing? I mean, how does it affect writing for you? Before that, let me ask you this. We talked about contrast a lot, right? So if you're writing, let's say, like a thriller scene, do you listen to light music? And if you're writing a light scene, do you listen to heavy music, something like that? Do you contrast like that, or?
No, it's not that deliberate and all. Whatever I feel like listening in that moment, I'll just listen.
So that's
to
also
that. Instinct.
Yeah.
Even in Yuddhan Say, I like how Mishkin Sir's
I love that movie.
Yuddhan Say even ella padathile onayattutti Yuddhan Say music la romba and the Pandora box musics ella irukalla adella romba it's a melody, huge melody, and they are showing a very gory shot in middle of ஒரு பாடியோட abstract parts boxல place பண்ணி ஒரு பார்க்ல வச்சிருக்கு அதுதான், and they are having a very melodious score there that creates a contrast and intrigue. So all those approaches, I'm very fascinated.
But Cece, thank you so much for sharing your time, because like I said, I thought we were going to talk about writing, but this was literally like a masterclass. So thank you for that. And
that's
I think partly when we go to watch a movie, sometimes it's good to leave behind some preconceived notions about how this might turn out to be, and your movies are a great example of that. And what actually makes me very happy is that, just like with Shyam Pushkaran and other people that I love, people are responding to this. It's not like you're writing a great screenplay and then, nobody's watching it. It's like you're writing a great screenplay, Dinjit's making a great movie out of it, and there are great performances, but people are also watching it and they're saying, we love it, and the box office is also responding. So that is beautiful, because otherwise there are lots of great screenplays, and they get into an art house theater and some film festival people watch it, and then then nothing happens. That's not happening here. That's brilliant, because I think only when these things go out into the mainstream will we start seeing
different
some kind of change, right?
The thing we have to be careful about is that we shouldn't give false promise to the audience. When we release our posters or teasers or trailers, we have to be very conscious. We shouldn't be tensed about the first day collection. We can pack the trailer or teaser of Echo in such a way that it's very powerful, very adrenaline rush kind of story. We had all the kind of elements in there. If we wanted to pack it in such a way, we could have edited in that way.
And also you could have also added like dramatic music or something.
Dramatic music. So that may maybe for the first show people may come, but they wouldn't get what they expected. So we should never give false promise to the audience. We should give only we should channel or drew the right set of audience for the first show. For the first show. So after the first show, when the reviews get out, then the rest of the audience, it's already validated, so let's go and watch. So now they are applied a pre-lut in their mind and they are coming to them, because since this is a good movie, it's such a movie, and in the reviews also it might be it's a slow burn mystery thriller, it's like that, it's not following a template-ish path or something. So the rest of the audience who come later also, they are not also expecting a template-ish path, more convenient path. They are also ready to welcome something new or different or something. So that's an advantage. So never get tensed with the marketing strategies. First they should break all the records. If we are that confident, we can go, but it's always good to play a bit safe.
Do you think have you started writing a third film?
No.
You don't know what it's going to be.
Now I have to go home. That's my only life ambition I have. For this 1 year, I couldn't go home. My home is in northern Kerala. I was stuck with all these works of this movie.
You're going to take a break. That's fine. But is there a bit of pressure now that, my first film, that's like unknown quantity, so nothing. But now Bahul Ramesh is a name.
It's a name.
Does that create some kind of pressure?
No pressure at all. No pressure at all.
That's what I want to hear.
I'm not getting into any commitments with anyone or anybody.
Let him write his goddamn story.
Impress pandradhukku oru pressure illa.
So you have not signed up with anybody?
No.
So your next script will also
because I'm not sure whether I can complete something or not now. Since I don't have any story in my mind, I'm just discovering it along the way. So once I finish the writing only, even I am okay. I wrote a story.
So now I'm happy with the screenplay and kind of I can give it out. Now when you gave the script of Kishkinda and Echo to Dinjit, right? He's like, so the producer says, this is the combination I'm putting together. Did he have any changes or suggestions?
No, nothing at all.
Nothing much.
He was
for
happy.
both the things.
He
didn't say anything at all.
He didn't say anything. Since and the producers were also very happy with the subject and all.
Writer's dream, man.
Again,
Both
these have
dream.
candies, and within a limited budget, we can pull it off. So it was safe enough.
Nice. So thank you so much. And I'm going to end with one of my favorite lines from. Actually, I love Kapoor and Sons as well. I love that movie. And one of my favorite all-time scenes is when they visit the graveyard. When Alia Bhatt and Siddharth Malhotra, who's the writer, he is the writer, and they visit the graveyard and they say, what would you write if you die? Like, what would you want written on your tombstone? And then Siddharth says something, I don't remember the exact words, but he says, Ho sake to yaad rakhna. Like, if you can, remember me. But I'm just like, I don't think that's going to be a problem with you, because I think you're going to be remembered. Even if you, with these two screenplays, I think you've created a good buzz, and I hope it leads to more interesting things. And I really think one of the things that's keeping Malayalam cinema so fresh and alive is this separation between writer and director. Because otherwise, after 2 films, you begin to slightly run out of things, like what to do.
That is one thing I used to observe. Like when filmmakers are done with the shoot and working on the post production, instead of fully focusing on post production, simultaneously they are thinking about, okay, after the release, what am I going to do then next?
Yeah.
So while the post production is going on, they might be working on another script or pitching it to someone else.
Yeah.
So that thing always happened.
So it happens here also?
Huh?
Okay.
So for the first film only, people are already fully focused onto that one goal. Immediately after first film, even during the post production of the first film itself, people are worried about what am I going to do next and all. So that if people are able to take a detachment or a break from that and focus on that one task at hand,
that's
right
right.
then. But
in an ideal world,
but can't
that would
blame them.
happen,
Also, it's also about job security,
Yeah.
financial
It's also
security,
business.
and all.
So many
as
things
well.
that kind of
It's
there. So
understandable.
anyway, thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Very nice. I think once again it was a very, very fascinating interview. I got a lot of context for Eco in a way, but I think they were not like major spoilers. Chronicles of Koreachan, it's okay. I know Koreachan is that guy that I have to watch out for. But let's see, whenever the movie releases on OTT, I will obviously make a reaction for it. I'm really willing to watch. I mean, very excited and willing to watch this film because the trailer teaser fascinated me. Plus, it has gotten really rave reviews. But this interview was very insightful. I feel that Bahul is just a chill guy. That's what I got. It's like super chill. He goes with the flow. There's nothing in his mind, and I love that. His mind is uncomplicated, which is why he is able to write complicated stories. That's what I feel. His mind is so uncomplicated and free, and that is why he's just able to pull in all the imagination. And I hope it remains the status quo. I just really hope that. So yeah, that was my reaction. This was part 2 and I'm gonna sign off now. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Please share your thoughts in the comments and I will sign off and I will see you soon on my next video. Bye.